What if the absolute worst NFL team from every season within the last 14 years faced off in some sort of playoffs to see which one's the worst one of all? As always, the seedings were based off their season record, but this time around, the worse the record, the better their seed, and the better the record, the lower their seed will be. And with that, here are the seedings for this video, which means the playoff landscape is already set and it is looking like this. One important thing to note is that for this video, the loser of each matchup is the one that will be advancing to the next round in order to see who reaches the tank bowl in the end. Well, with that clear, let's now head over to the very first game, 2023 Panthers versus the 2015 Titans. You probably don't remember the 2015 Titans as well as you do the 2023 Panthers, but they were also quite bad. I think this could be a very close game without a lot of scoring, and at the end I have the Panthers losing 17-13 and advancing to the next round. Moving on, we have the 2018 Cardinals facing the 2016 Browns. Both of these teams were lacking a quarterback and both of them are relatively close in time, which means it's a little bit easier to compare them. I would say the Cardinals were slightly better than this Cleveland team, so I have the Browns losing this game with a final score of 24-20. Now the 2012 Chiefs face off against the 2021 Jaguars. Both of them could easily fumble the game away in what could end up being an interesting game. However, since Jacksonville had the better quarterback situation, I'll pick them to win this matchup, sending the 2012 Chiefs to the Divisional Round with a final score of 31-21, KC losing. On to the other side are the 2011 Colts versus the 2024 Titans. I honestly don't think this Titans team was that bad, they were just terrible at scoring. Fundamentally speaking, I think this Indianapolis team had a worse roster, so I have them losing this game at the end in a close matchup that finishes 13-10. Moving on are the 2013 Texans versus the 2022 Bears. This could end up being a fun matchup, especially since both coaching staffs were mediocre at best, which clearly opens up the possibility of having crazy random plays and mistakes. At the end, I'll take the Texans to advance to the next round by losing the game 23-17. Now back to the other side, the 2019 Bengals face off against the 2014 Buccaneers. Both of these teams are solid now, but they were not good at all back in the day. The 2019 Bengals were certainly bad and this could wind up being a close game, but I just think this Buccaneers team was just better at losing, if that makes sense. Final score: Tampa moves on by losing 2016. And with that, wildcard weekend is over and surprisingly the only lower seed to advance were the 2014 Buccaneers. The playoff landscape is looking like this, and so let's waste no more time and start with Divisional Round weekend right away. So to start out, 2013 Texans versus number 1 seed 2017 Browns. This Houston team was bad, yes, and this could potentially be an interesting game at one point. However, this Browns team went winless for a reason, and for that I'll pick them to lose this game and advance to the championship with a final score of 20-13. On to the other side, 2020 Jaguars versus 2014 Buccaneers. Both teams combined for a total of 3 regular season wins and 29 losses, so this could certainly be a game filled with mistakes on every single side of the ball. The 2014 Bucs were bad, but I think we all remember the 2020 Jaguars good enough to know they're the worst team here, so I have them losing this encounter 17-14. Moving on, 2011 Colts versus 2016 Browns. Now this could be a potentially close game since these two teams had pretty much the same point differential, which means they were on a similar skill level. Despite that, Indy won one more game and had a slightly better roster, so I'll take the Browns to lose this game 27-23. Up next, the 2023 Panthers versus the 2012 Chiefs. These two teams were bad. If you saw both play, you for sure know what I'm talking about. However, the 2023 Panthers had much more close game than the Chiefs, even though they were both terrible. So in the end, I'll be taking the lower seed Chiefs to lose with a final score of 24-16. And with that, championship round is ready, with the remaining teams being the 2017 Browns, the 2012 Chiefs, the 2020 Jaguars, and the 2016 Browns. And so here's a final look through the playoff landscape before heading on to Championship Sunday, which starts with something we've never seen before in this series, a team facing itself. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2016 Browns versus the 2017 Browns. Honestly, this would be a dope game. Just imagine the number of players that played on both teams and now they would have to face themselves. Of course, the 2017 Browns went winless, but the previous year's squad wasn't much better either and even actually had a worse point differential despite a better record. I think this would be a really close game, ultimately ending with a final score of 30-28, with the 2017 Browns losing and hence reaching the Tank Bowl. And heading over to the other side, 2020 Jaguars versus 2012 Chiefs. Both of them were honestly terrible, and outside of the games they won, they didn't really put up much of a fight in any other week. Overall, I think both rosters are essentially on the same talent level, and although the Jaguars had the worst record, I think I'm leaning Kansas City here. They performed slightly worse in the games they lost, and I would say they would eventually lose this game, even though it could go either way. Final score, KC moves on by losing 23-20. And with that, we have the Tank Bowl set. On one side are the 2012 Chiefs led by Matt Castle and head coach Romeo Crennel, who was obviously fired after their disastrous 2-win season. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have the 2017 Browns led by DeShone Kizer and coach Hugh Jackson, who were one of the very few teams in NFL history to go winless during an entire season. So with that, the stage for the Tank Bowl is set, and let's waste no more time and start it right away. Hot take, this would be a great game. Just think about it. Having two great teams facing each other is amazing, and it just looks like such clean football. However, today we have the complete opposite. Two teams that no matter how hard they tried, they just failed and played terrible ball. Which is actually insane because this time one must come out on top. I think this game would most certainly feature some insane plays and crazy mistakes. And for me, that means this would be most certainly a very fun one to watch. The 2012 Chiefs were bad and had one of the worst points differential of all time, but the 2017 Browns were just better at losing, as they proved by going winless. For that reason, I'll be taking the 2017 Browns to lose this game with a score of 27-23 and hence winning the Tank Bowl trophy. And so that's pretty much all for today's video. If you wanna see more of this type of content, make sure to subscribe. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I guess we'll be seeing each other on the next one.